So I just wanted to take this opportunity to address the issue of secession in Nigeria, which, you know, one has to start to take seriously because it seems like it's a discussion topic that has been coming up as of lately and will keep coming up. So, so generally speaking, I'm not in favor of the whole secession thing, the Oduduwa Nation and the Biafra Nation, and it's not that I don't understand what they want. I understand it, and I understand the reasons why. I just don't think they're going to get out of it what they think they are. I don't think that like going to war is going to propel all these different factions into where they think it's going to go. There's a number of reasons for that. First of all, let's look at real life example. First of all, the basic fact of the matter is, if you're going to have all these different, if you're going to have the country break up into North and South, or into three different countries, three different states, you're gonna have to go to war, right? You're gonna have a war, right? And what does war look like? It's dangerous, it's messy, it's complicated, nothing really ever gets sorted out. If you look at all the neighbors of this country, if you look at Cameroon, if you look at Liberia, if you look at the Congo, if you look at all these different countries that are neighboring, that are around Nigeria, that have decided that have had to go to war because of one secessionist movement or another, what did they really get out of it? What did they really gain out of it? They had war. I think, the Congo had a war that's still dragging on. Cameroon has a war that's the closest neighbor of Nigeria. That's a great example. Still has a war that's still dragging on. One of our family friends in my family is from Cameroon. He's based in the U.S., but he lost about 3 family members, 2 or 3 in that war. So it's just, they didn't get. What are they getting out of it? And the war is still going on now, and it's divided. And it's like, if you look at a map of Cameroon now, it looks like, oh, there's the land being claimed by Ambazonia, and there's the actual Cameroon land. Why would Nigeria want that? It would just create. I don't see it being resolved quickly. I think if Nigeria decides to disintegrate into 3 different entities or 2 different entities, I think it's something that'll drag on forever, because those are the examples that I see. And I think it'll take, I think that no matter how hard it is, I was just looking at some stats on Fulani herdsmen and how many people they've killed, right? So they're like, oh, Fulani herdsmen have killed this many people in 2017, 2018, 2019, and 20. So whatever it was like 3 or 4 years, and the total was like 2,500. And of course, some people commented that, oh, the real number is probably 4 times, 7 times, whatever the real number is. The point is, if you went to war to try to break up Nigeria, the amount of people that will die is going to be in the millions. You have to realize that this is a country of 200 million people. And also, it's going to just destabilize everywhere else in the region. Like, you have the most populated country in that entire region decide to just disintegrate into civil war. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen with Ghana? What do you think is going to happen with Cameroon? What do you think is going to happen with Chad? It just will create a complete mess. So while I'm sympathetic to the fantasies of Oduduwa Nation and of Biafra Nation and of whatever, it doesn't seem like the North cares to have the factions they have. They have the control they want already, so it doesn't seem like they care to, have. I don't sympathize with it, because I think it's just going to create a way bigger. There's no nation on earth today, there's no big country that does not deal with the diverse population. There's no big country today that does not deal with having to manage the interests of multiple people, So I think that Nigeria should grow up and just accept that you're going to have to do that, and be a leader and be responsible, and show other countries how to do that. Show other countries how to, I think Nigeria thinks of itself, doesn't realize the power that it has in a way, and not just to be like a big fat hat and care about money and care about that, but really to resolve things in a way that shows other people, other neighboring countries or whoever, what is a successful way to manage things. Another thing that I wanted to bring up, that I'm sure that most of these people who are fantasizing about, their homeland nation for the Yorubas or for the Igbos or what, have not thought about, is that they are most definitely not going to get what they want out of it. You know what's going on right now? I feel if you look at the Nigeria from the outside world, here's a country of 200 million people that's on track to become probably the second or third most populated country in the world, and a black nation for that matter. Is that something that the world, other powers of the world are used to? It's not. And you know what they're doing? The U.S. looks at China and they're thinking, interesting. And they look at India and definitely Nigeria's on that list. So guess what you're going to get if you go to civil war? You're going to need interference. You're going to need the UN to interfere. You're going to get a lot of right now, Nigeria doesn't have any American bases, right? You're going to get some. So this idea that you're going to get self-determination out of it is a complete fantasy, and definitely not going to be what happens. You're going to have all these outside interests that are going to pour in with all their interests. Not to say their interests are all bad, but it's just going to be more complicated. Right now you can go to the Alaji in Fulani land or Hausa land and say, Alaji, what do you want? You want reservation space? Maybe the government can give you a land grant. Right now you can do that. Once you have all these other interests pour in with their complicated this and this that they want, then it's definitely going to be even harder to resolve, even harder to get self-determination or whatever it is that the Oduduwa Nation and the Biafra Nation people want. I'm sorry, but it's all I know is that it's not going to play out the way that they're envisioning, because it's impossible. Not only is the problem going to be that it's going to set us back a few years, first of all. When you have to go to war, how long is that going to last? Look at the other countries that are in this situation. They ended up going to a civil war for 3 years, 20 years, some of them. So, off the top of my head, you can think of Israel. Look at the complicated dynamic that's gone on there for decades. So what you're going to get is a war that's going to drag on at best 3 years, at worst maybe a couple decades. And you know what's going on during that time? Children are not going to school. Right now you complain, you say, oh, well, it's so bad because in Nigeria you don't always have school every semester. One semester it's off. Yeah, what's really going to happen, you're going to have 18-year-olds in the 6th grade. Because there was no chance to go to school because of the war, everything came to a halt. All focus went to the war. Why would you want to focus? This is a country that needs to focus on healthcare and education, healthcare, nutrition, and education. Those are the things that are poverty alleviation. And if you focus on those things and you let people grow from those things, I feel like you're going to get a lot of what you want. Because I think a lot of the problems with the North is that you have there's all people in abject poverty. Oh, they're fighting, they're carrying this, they're all that. None of them have a lot of the problem is that they're all poor. So they're fighting each other for a grain of rice or sand or whatever. So it's as much as that looks like the primary problem, it's not. The primary problem is really the abject poverty that needs to be focused on. And it seems like there are people who realize this, but there are people who don't, So focus on the real problem, and that's a problem that everybody has in common. Everybody there has in common. Everybody there has the poverty problem. Everybody there has the need for more education problem. Those are the things that need to be rallied around, not disintegrating into civil war and dragging things out for another 20 years with, a million interests pouring in from all over the globe who just want to be there for their own reasons. Why would you want that? I think it's just a complete disillusion. And why their heart might be in the right place, I get their dreams. I get their, why they want it. I just don't think any of it would ever play out the way they want. So I think it just, you don't have to take my word for it. Like I said, look at Cameroon, look at Liberia, look at what all these other countries got out of it. And they didn't get anything out of it, just destruction of infrastructure. And then, everything's just going to fall apart. And yeah. Look how beautiful Lagos is, some parts of it. Look how beautiful some parts of it. Be ready for some of that to be gone. Why would you want that, And Enugu, get ready for everything to just, it's a no-no. It's no, it will not do, just keep that in mind. It has the potential to only make things more crazy and more complicated, and that's all that's going to happen out of it. So if you really love Nigeria, keep it one. Duh.